In the realm of global finance, seismic shifts have shaken the foundation of the once mighty US dollar. A strategic dance led by Russia and China has sent shockwaves through economic corridors, challenging the dollar's dominion. As these powerhouses flex their financial muscles, the age-old narrative of currency supremacy finds itself at a crossroads. In the annals of financial history, the chilling winds of change blew across the world in February 2022. A seismic shift rattled the foundations of the global economic order, triggered not by an earthquake or a stock market crash, but by the unexpected freezing of Russia's foreign reserves. Western powers had pulled off a daring move that sent shockwaves through the corridors of power, leaving diplomats, analysts, and governments alike in a state of suspended disbelief. Imagine the scene. Diplomats in pinstriped suits, their brows furrowed over classified briefings, urgently whispering concerns to each other across hushed conference rooms. The incident was an unexpected symphony of political intrigue and financial strategy. The decision to freeze Russia's foreign reserves was not just a mere economic maneuver. It was a metaphorical chess move that sent the world's currencies reeling like pieces on a global game board. The resonance of this action echoed far beyond the borders of Moscow. It ignited a cacophony of questions that reverberated through financial centers from New York to Tokyo. Could this happen to other nations? Could the economic lifeblood of sovereign states be constricted by the mere whims of geopolitics? Suddenly, the notion of being too heavily invested in a single reserve currency felt like a precarious high-wire act. Governments around the world were left to grapple with a daunting reality. Over-reliance on one currency could come at a staggering cost. The incident cracked open the vault of vulnerabilities that had long remained hidden beneath the facade of economic stability. It was as if the financial world had received an electrifying jolt, one that prompted a collective introspection into the wisdom of putting all their eggs in the dollar-shaped basket. In the wake of the freezing of Russia's foreign reserves, the world embarked on a currency odyssey of remarkable proportions. It was as if a spell had been broken, awakening nations from their dollar-induced slumber to a new reality where the once unassailable greenback was no longer the sole ruler of the financial realm. The incident acted as a catalyst, igniting a global firestorm of de-dollarization efforts. Nations, big and small, found themselves grappling with the vulnerability of having too many eggs in the same currency basket. Like explorers of old charting new courses across uncharted seas, they set out to diversify their foreign exchange reserves, seeking shelter from potential economic tempests and the geopolitical squalls that had once seemed remote, but now felt alarmingly close. Picture diplomats and central bankers in a frenzied dance of fiscal diplomacy. Currencies that had long been relegated to the shadows suddenly gained the spotlight. The euro, the yen, and even the yuan. Each came forth with newfound allure, promising both stability and strategic insulation from the caprices of economic warfare. As a result, the dollar's dominance began to wane, its once impervious grip on global reserves slipping through its fingers like grains of sand. The financial tapestry of the world was undergoing a radical transformation, with the colors of diversity and multipolarity weaving their way into the once monochrome canvas. In the grand theater of global finance, China emerged as an unexpected protagonist, armed not with military might but with economic prowess and a strategic vision that would send shockwaves through the established order. The currency of this rising titan, the yuan, embarked on a journey that promised to reshape the very bedrock of international finance. China's ascent to economic prominence had been nothing short of meteoric. As if summoned by an economic alchemist, the nation transformed itself from a humble agrarian society to an industrial powerhouse with breathtaking speed. This rapid growth, fueled by its vast population and insatiable appetite for innovation, bestowed upon China a gravitational pull that extended far beyond its borders. In the heart of this transformation lay the yuan, also known as the renminbi, waiting like a slumbering giant to awaken and claim its rightful place on the global stage. China, shrewdly aware of the importance of currency in shaping influence, embarked on a deliberate campaign to internationalize the yuan, positioning it as a contender to the dollar's throne. The Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, an ambitious infrastructure project that spanned continents like a modern-day Silk Road, was a stroke of geopolitical brilliance. It wasn't just about connecting cities with roads and railways. It was about binding nations together through trade, infrastructure, and economic interdependence. The yuan, an essential lubricant in the machinery of this grand endeavor, began to seep into the fabric of trade settlements and investment flows. The establishment of the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, AIIB, was another feather in China's currency cap. Here was a multilateral institution rising from the ground up, challenging the established order and offering an alternative to the financial institutions of the West. The yuan, underpinned by China's economic muscle, found itself a favored currency for investments and transactions within the AIIB's corridors. Imagine a grand geopolitical chessboard, where the US dollar stands as the undisputed king, its influence stretching across continents like a shimmering web of power. For decades, the dollar's throne as the global reserve currency endowed the United States with an unmatched ability to orchestrate economic symphonies and steer the currents of international finance. However, as the dollar's once unchallengeable reign begins to falter, a seismic shift is underway, one that has profound implications for the world's power dynamics. The US dollar's supremacy wasn't merely financial, it was geopolitical mastery personified. With this status came the power to shape economic policies on a global scale. Countries, big and small, found themselves dancing to the tune of the dollar's fluctuations, adjusting their own strategies to align with the United States' monetary maneuvers. It was a financial symphony led by the conductor of the greenback baton. Furthermore, the dollar's dominance was akin to wielding a mighty scepter over international institutions. Organizations like the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank, which wielded immense influence in global economic affairs, had their strings often pulled by the dollar's gravitational pull. The United States had a privileged seat at the table, and its currency's role as the world's primary reserve facilitated its ability to steer these institutions toward its own interests. Yet, as the narrative of the dollar's decline unfolds, so does the fabric of the international stage begin to shift. As the dollar's dominance wanes, so too does the United States' unassailable influence over global economic policies. The once reliable levers of economic control start to lose their grip. It's as if the conductor has stepped off the podium, leaving the orchestra to find a new rhythm, a new harmony. In the labyrinthine corridors of global finance, the ascent of China's yuan has been a spectacle to behold. Like a phoenix emerging from economic reform, in a sword, challenging the status quo and making its presence known on the world stage. Yet the yuan's journey towards international stardom is far from a clear-cut trajectory, as it grapples with hurdles that loom like shadows in the path. While the yuan has danced its way into international transactions, dazzling the financial world with its potential, the journey hasn't been without its stumbling blocks. One of the most conspicuous is the Chinese government's cautious grasp over the yuan's value. Like a watchful guardian, they have kept a firm hand on the currency's pulse, meticulously managing its exchange rate to avoid excessive volatility. However, this control has raised concerns about the yuan's true market value, creating a dissonance between perceived stability and the sometimes turbulent economic currents. Transparency, or the lack thereof, casts another enigmatic veil over the yuan's ascent. While China has made strides in opening up its financial data to global scrutiny, there are still corners of opacity that stir unease among international investors. The intricate interplay between policy and perception creates an intricate dance, where the steps taken by Beijing can sometimes appear as a cryptic choreography to those on the outside. As the dust settles on this epochal currency evolution, a new chapter unfolds. The US dollar, once an unassailable titan, now navigates uncharted waters as Russia and China reshape the currency landscape. The world watches with bated breath, witnessing the rise of new protagonists and the transformation of global financial dynamics.